Welcome to another very special episode of The Dialogue Den, a CNS Mumbai podcast initiative led by the students.
Sir, I believe that was my line. Hello, everyone. My name is Anya Chand, and I'm from grade 12.
And I'm Ivan Jadhav from grade 11. This episode celebrates the day the very first brick was laid, the cornerstone of what would grow into CNS's flagship school.
Celebrating 10 years since all of this has started is a reminder of the exceptional community that we've built around here, and also to our students that we are part of something much greater and larger than ourselves.
That said, it gives me immense pleasure to invite our guest for today, Mr. Sujay Jairaj, our chairperson, and Mrs. Minal Sujay Thacker, our trustee.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Su-
Yuvan, and thank you, Anya, for having us.
Of course.
Yes.
Mr. Sujay Jairaj is a passionate educationist and an advocate for innovation within the learning community. As a trustee with the Narsee Mumbai Education Trust and the chairperson of the school, he plays an integral role in ensuring that education here extends far beyond the classroom.
Mrs. Minal Sujay Thacker, who has worked tirelessly behind the scenes as trustee, has shown us thoughtful leadership in fostering a warm, grounded, and inclusive environment here at CNS. Her perspective on education and growth has had a lasting impact on everyone, from students to teachers alike.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Let me start by saying that it's our utmost pleasure to be having you here with us today and celebrating this day with you. And we are very excited to get to know the both of you much more.
So, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love for you to share a bit more about yourselves, your visions and for the future of CNS, and perhaps some memories that capture what this journey has meant to the both of you and to all of us, obviously.
Yeah, so hello, everyone. By the way, this is Sujay Jairaj. Thank you for having us on this episode. For us, Chatrabhuj Narsee School started as a dream. It all started in around 2010 or 11 when Minal and myself came to know about this beautiful land in this beautiful location overlooking the national park. And it was like a blank canvas, like how an artist designs something on a canvas on his own. And that's the opportunity we had. And we are very passionate about education. I have been involved with Jamnabai Narsee School at Narsee Mumbai Educational Trust since 2004. So education has always been something I'm very, very passionate about. And alongside that, I'm very involved in sports. And then there was this beautiful campus, a plot of land which was available, where Minal and me came together to kind of plan whatever best we can provide for the students, for the community, in terms of contributing the best possible infrastructure we can provide for education for any school in Mumbai. So it all started with that vision. I'll let Minal speak more about it.
So, hello everyone. I'm Minal Thacker, trustee at Chatrabhuj Narsee School, Methibai Divraj Gundecha Foundation. So, for me, the fact that how I entered into education it was very different because I did my hotel management and I studied hotel management. I was going to pursue hospitality. And we used to just have conversations and we realized that education and hospitality is a service-led industry. Service to parents. There are so many stakeholders, right? And all people. So I got very interested in this field and more passionate towards education. And then exactly how Sujay mentioned, that we had this canvas of land and we wanted to make sure that we provide the best sporting facilities, we provide the best infrastructure, we design it in a way that design innovation starts with us. And today we are here in this podcast room with your young minds like y'all, and it's a pleasure. Yes. And completing 10 years of Chatrabhuj Narsee School. So
just a slight follow-up note on that, as she mentioned. So I come from a chemical industry background in my family and education. My family has been into education for more than 60 years, and she comes from a hospitality background. So our idea was we want to create a school with highest standards of hospitality. So when it comes to, education is service sector. We kind of associate with students, with parents, with so many teachers. So that's, I think, a great strength and a synergy that came together. hospitality as well as education. So yeah.
As someone who's been here for more than 7 years, I joined the school a long time ago. I've had first-hand experience of how it's grown. And just in the spirit of discussing all of that, I would like to say that what you have accomplished here, it has been a very noble pursuit. The way I changed as a person was something that, stands out to me today. It stands out to my parents. And yeah, that is what's the most noteworthy factor here today.
Another thing, as Sir mentioned, his emphasis on sports. Personally, as I've been playing sports here at CNS, I'm truly aware of how sports has helped me nurture not only in my studies but at other avenues in my life as well. A big
Absolutely. In fact, I think sports teaches a lot of life lessons. And we've created kind of a beautiful space for outdoor as well as indoor sports. So we have, of course, a beautiful multi-sport playground, massive, almost 60,000 square feet. As you know, we have a beautiful semi-Olympic size, temperature-controlled pool. We have a Olympic size 10-meter shooting range. And so much more. I mean, I'm just saying that we've just gone all out because, again, it was something we wanted to create where we would want to be ourselves, and today we are so proud to see both of you. I mean, talking so well and, doing so well in life. So, yeah, this is what keeps us going.
So I would like to ask actually both of you, when you first laid the foundation of the school, and you've covered this already, but what were your more like focused aspirations and hope for this place?
So, for me, I always say that for me, education is 5 aspects, which is academics, sports, extracurricular activities, life skills, and value systems. So when we were planning and laying the first stone over here, we wanted to amalgamate all these 5 concepts and bring it all together. And it was so much fun because it all started right from scratch, right, including designing the logo. So, for example, Minal came up with a concept of 4 pillars of learning. So, learning to learn, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live in peace and happiness. That was her concept. And we came up with the pentagon, and then we came up with the roof, which wants you to go higher in life, and even in the logo, if you see, we have a foundation. So the roots have to be strong. So I'm just saying that luckily we got 2 to 3 years to plan while we were applying for various permissions. But those 2-3 years gave us a lot of time to rethink, reevaluate, and come up with a plan for something that we would love and nurture as we go ahead in the future. Yeah.
Look, so every great institution has an origin story, as you all said. Finding this amazing and beautiful plot of land in these suburbs was what led you to choose this location as our flagship campus. Are there any other factors which you all looked upon to while choosing this campus as our flagship school?
Talking about the story of this institution, I think the story started with me meeting Minal, through a common friend to start with. And eventually we got married. And she comes from a real estate background. I come from an education background. And Minal, would you like to take this about the plot?
Yeah, I think sometimes some things are destiny as well. I don't know how to put that, or luck. But basically, my family's into real estate, and we had this huge piece of land all the way from the highway to this backside, which faces the national park. And this was for a school. And we had a lot of discussions. First, we were like, we do school plus college, we do school, playground, and something else. But then we're like, let's do a big, massive school, with everything that we want to tick mark on. And on that note, yeah. So that's
there
how
was
there was a lot of, lot of brainstorming and a lot of planning, a lot of rethinking, a lot of going back. But I guess that's the whole process, right? And then you finally create the best picture. Yes.
So, as it is said, marriages are made in heaven, right? So I think the destiny of Chatrabhuj Narsee School was made in heaven because we got married and we came together. And fortunately, everything worked out very well.
That's beautiful to hear. And what you said about this campus as well, I think it's very, very special. Not only the kind of like faculties that we have here, but just the comfort that it provides to all of us. It's extremely important. And I think that learning happens best in a place where you actually feel the essence of everything coming together. So that was very important as well. Just to follow up on his question, everyone here has grown immensely since we first started. We've expanded from one building to two. Our faculties have improved. The student body has grown so very much. And so, in all the ways that the school has changed, what would you both say is the change that you're most proud of?
So, I think with time, we have to keep learning, unlearning, growing, and adapt to systems that come along, right? And in the last decade, technology, AI, robotics, the world is changing. Every sector is kind of changing. As we go ahead, we keep building our infrastructure, we keep upgrading our technology, we keep building a very strong team. But what I want something to remain constant ever is again the value system and the ethos and the wisdom that we come from. So I always like to say that we can keep upgrading ourselves in every possible way, but our roots, our Indian wisdom and ethos have to be constant always. In terms of what I'm proud of, I think when I see or enter the school, every face that has a smile, speaks so much inside the school, right? Right from the security to the support staff, to the complete teaching and non teaching staff members, the students, everyone is doing so well. Our staff is growing, our students are growing. Our students are now who have completed school in our 12th grade are placed in top universities around the world and in India. So whenever someone achieves something, it gives you so much satisfaction, because in the end, what our aim was is actually coming to
Fruition.
fruition, exactly. So that's what keeps us going again and gives us the power to keep going stronger as we go ahead. But again, coming from a sports background, so I was personally a national level badminton player, and I still love to play sport. And with all the work, everyone does, I think health and fitness and sport is very important. So one thing that I still want someone to achieve from my school in the future is I want to create an Olympian. So be it in any sport, be it a girl or a boy, but my aim in future and my hope in future is that someone from CNS represents India at the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah.
A follow up on that, what you just said. How do you ensure the seamless transitions of all the ethos and the value systems that you value so deeply at CNS?
See, what happens is, we have a lot of systems and processes in place, right? But in the end, we are a people run and people driven institution. And I always feel that human touch can never be replaced by any kind of technology. So whenever we kind of plan something with our team, we always say the value-based education is very, very important. When I say value-based and ethos-based kind of a thing, I'm not talking about any religion. I'm not talking about kind of any community. I'm talking about values of human globally, like respect for elders, punctuality, integrity, hard work, teamwork, and the most important, being empathy. So I feel when we keep reiterating these things, somehow the culture develops on its own, and our team has done a fantastic job. So I'm very proud of that.
I think that's very well said. And just to revisit something else you said about how the support staff and everyone else has come together here, I think when I graduate from this place, the one thing that I will miss most is to see the people's faces who have sort of helped me grow as a person. And that wouldn't only be the teachers, very much so, yes, but it would also be the didis here and the people who work in the cafeteria. And they have just been so integral in how I perceive this place and how, I consider this home. So that's very important.
Absolutely.
And so you have consistently mentioned your education background. So just to revisit that again, you are a fourth generation scion of a major education legacy, right? And I imagine that your relationship with your grandfather, Shri Chatrabhuj Narsee ji, has also influenced you in many ways. So how would you say his teaching or his principles have influenced your personal philosophy as an educator in this contemporary setting?
So, Chatrabhuj Bhai, my grandfather, we used to call him Bha in our language. So, we were very close. We lived in a joint family. And he passed in 1998 when I was 16 years old. But I have had the fortunate, I've been very fortunate to spend a lot of time with him. So, he used to always say, that always give back to the society, because we've done so well as a family in terms of business, and it is now our turn to give back to the society. It is always very, very important to keep the institution before an individual. So he used to always mention that the institution is always greater than the individual, and that's what we are trying to do over here. He was also a man of principles. So everything was kind of set right. Everything has a rule. So even as a family, we've grown up seeing him kind of follow his principles, and automatically again, that kind of comes down. That said, my father took over as the managing trustee in 1998, and it is his vision, his support to me after I finished my graduation in 2004. He gave me wings to fly, which is my father and my mother. They gave me so much freedom. They gave me so much support. They gave me so much advice on everything that I needed. They helped me when I used to have tough times. So I think everything that I've learned from my grandfather, from my father, and from my mother is kind of something I cannot explain. And of course, eventually I got married to Minal. I have learned a lot from her, and I've learned a lot from her family. Because each person comes with its own expertise. And for me, the main aim is to learn something every day from every person, because everyone has a different expertise, and we need to take the best out of everyone. Like today, for example, when we speak, even the way you all are kind of asking questions, and I'm doing a podcast, it's something new for us, but I'm trying to learn, like how this works. So, yeah, the thing is, Chatrabhuj Bhai was a visionary, and the idea is to keep his legacy going the best we can.
We never had the pleasure of knowing him personally, but a previous guest on the podcast also talked about how meeting him had changed his life. And I just feel that everything that we have here is a product of his philanthropy and his values. So that's extremely nice to hear.
That said, sorry, I'll just go a little more behind. So when I say I'm the fourth generation, my great grandfather was Narsee Monji. Today, as a family, whatever we are is credit to Narsee Monji. He came from a very small village in Kutch called Lakhanya to Bombay in the late 1800s, in 1895 or something like that. He started his journey as a hawker, then got into stocks and investment. Then he got into the boycott and the Swadeshi movement. And then he started two industries. He was a voracious reader. So that time he was not educated. He didn't have the means to kind of go to a school, but he used to love reading. So he self-educated himself, started two huge companies against that time British ruled India. And, he passed on the legacy of giving back to the society to his son, who's Chatrabhuj Bhai, then my father, and then me. So what I'm trying to say is it all started with the vision of Sri Narsee Monji around 120 years back.
I'm sure that he's very much alive in the way that we honor him today and the way that we remember what he's taught.
Thank you.
Another question for the both of you. What is one memory or memories from your own school days or colleges as well that you all still think about to this day? Maybe a mischievous prank. For example, I belong to a very notorious group in this school. Were you all like that as well?
You want to go first?
I think, yeah, I was naughty. But I think just being sports would come to me, like, just being part of sports and active in school was a lot of fun. And and just going around school, I always admired how. So if you know Jamnabai, like that's where I studied, and the school itself, the way it's designed, it always inspired me, and that's why I love what I do here. Is more of the planning of all the spaces. So actually, it always intrigued me how all the classrooms were a nice cluster. Everybody could come out, even though your friends are in another division. You could always meet them in the breaks, and you always shuffled each year. So, but you could connect in a different way. And the design of the school is what is a memory that always stay with me.
So just to take on from there and answer your question, no one can imagine this, but I was a very naughty student. Okay, I was a very naughty child, and but I was good naughty in the sense I would never upset anyone, or the teachers would never really get angry. They would know I do a lot of masti, but it would always bring a smile on everyone's face. So I was, quite a naughty student. I used to always be playing around. I used to be more on the field than inside the classroom. But that's what's also made me the person I am today. Sports has taught me a lot. But yeah, I mean, a lot of memories, of having a lot of fun. Again, because I used to be a state level and national level badminton player, I could also bunk school a lot because I used to travel a lot to small towns around the country for tournaments. But yeah, I've grown up being a very naughty child.
I think that's wonderful to hear. We all have a little bit of that in us. And
Some maybe more.
it's good to know that we're all the same that way. And this is for ma'am specifically. I chose the IB board, right? And this was a difficult decision to come to because there's little knowledge about how that works and what kind of systems exist today. Not only that, but also different school boards keep changing over time. They keep updating how they operate. And so in that way, how do you know what's best for students in any given campus? And how do you know which options are the ones that you would want to provide as a particular caretaker of how education grows in the country today?
So, of course, we have Chatrabhuj Narsee School, which is the national curriculum. And when we were planning this, there were a lot of schools around here. And we were quite sure that we want to go with the Cambridge curriculum and provide that to the students because we were happy with the blend of how it's not, it has a combination of how students and teachers interact. And we were, and followed by IB curriculum. So that was the pathway that we selected. And you want to add to this?
Yeah, so I think I'll answer this question actually.
Yeah, this question is more for
Yeah. No, so what happens is that, for me, I personally believe curriculum is not important. I personally feel that it's the vision of the school, the concepts that the school provides is what really matters. So for example, it can be state board curriculum, it can be ICSE curriculum, it can be the British Cambridge curriculum, it can be the IB curriculum. But what matters is the school, what kind of subjects they are selecting, what kind of facilities they are providing, what kind of value systems, infrastructure the school is providing. That's what matters the most. If a teacher is a great teacher, even in a slum where there is no school building and a teacher is teaching under a tree, the teacher can actually execute an amazing program. So what I'm trying to say is that for us as a school, we try to take the best concepts from national as well as international curriculums and provide the best to our students. But each curriculum has its own advantages and it depends on the school how to deliver the particular program. Yeah.
So following up on that question, so what element would you think then is instrumental for a new K-12 campus? As you said, if not valuing the curriculum as much, maybe the leadership team, the infrastructure, the staff. What is that element that is most important then?
So according to me, again, it's a combination of those 5 aspects. So I think an institution needs to plan how do you get academics, sports, extracurricular activities, life skills education, and value systems together. Because in the end, we are preparing each student to enter the real world, right? So we want the student to be prepared to face all the challenges. there will be highs, there will be lows. The character of a person is shown during the low time, because there are a few highs and there are more lows in anyone's journey. So how do you remain strong? How do you never give up? How do you go behind your passion? How do you kind of follow the right path with all the temptations around? So these are life skills. And in a school like ours, the kind of opportunities we provide, not only again in the classroom, but outside the classroom, like we have Quintessence, for example, we have a co-op program, for example, we have Ecotopia, we have so many inter-school activities. So I think exposure to various opportunities builds the strength of each student, and then they really come to know their own strengths, their own weaknesses. But again, I'd like to say that when you enter the real world, you have to be ready to face all kinds of challenges, all kinds of achievements. Sometimes you can achieve at the age of 15 or 10 or 12. Sometimes you'll achieve at the age of 60 or 70. But how do you kind of not give up and keep your character in place, keep the positivity in place, is what is important. And I think we need to train ourselves to go follow that path.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about Indian to international, and I joined the school from an ICSE school, and an infamous incident that my family really loves to bring up again and again is the time when I first met our principal, Miss Merzine, and I asked her, "So, do we have assemblies here? And do we sing songs here?" And that was a question that came from years of like having met our students every day in the morning and having had these elaborate events go on. And now that I've experienced so much in school today, I know for a fact that we have a strong connection to our tradition and we are very much aligned with our values here. But how do you sort of maintain our Indian values and then balance that with the international standards that an international curriculum also brings?
So, of course, we provide a lot of training and development to every team member in the school, right from our principal to every staff member, attends a lot of professional development programs. We keep upskilling ourselves. Myself and Meenal also attend a lot of programs, workshops, seminars to upskill ourselves, right? So we always want to move on with the time in terms of curriculums, in terms of technology, in terms of infrastructure. We have a 5-year vision in place for our school. So we are not only planning what we are going to do in the coming year, we are actually planning what we are going to do over the next 5 to 10 years. So we have a school development plan in place, for example. So of course that keeps changing with time, but at least the idea is to have a long-term plans in place and take small steps at a time to achieve the long-term growth. As you see right now, we are completing 10 years, but the story started 15 years back, and now is what we are seeing today, right? So we have to kind of keep working on it day in and day out, and keep at it. I mean, we have to keep upgrading ourselves. Yeah. We have to kind of keep working hard. Yeah, that's it. I think there's no substitute to hard work. Yeah.
And if I may ask, what is the ultimate vision? Like, where do you see CNS in the next century?
Yeah, so see, basically, that's an interesting question because Jamnabai Narsee School has now completed 55 years. I was myself a student in the school, and as you're so passionate about CNS, I have grown up as a student in JNS. So when I came back as a part of the management, my idea was to keep upgrading, to keep learning, and be the best school always. And that's why with CNS, we've completed 10 years, but as we go 100 years down the line, we want to create a legacy of achievers. We want to provide excellence through endeavor. Excellence is a kind of something not overnight that can come up, right? So what happens is it's a culture. We want everyone to be the best in whatever field they are. So each support staff, each teacher, each person from the management, We have to keep giving back to the society. We have to keep working hard, and the school will shine. I mean, I can't say what's going to happen 100 years down the line because the world is changing. But the idea is to always be top notch in the years to come.
As you said, we can't estimate of what the world is going to be like in the next century,
Yes.
or even the couple of decades in the future. With society and technology like evolving so rapidly, with AI just going bonkers and through the roof, how do you make sure that our campuses stay future ready and even relevant rather for students from the future generations?
So I think the next decade is going to be very, very important in terms of development of technology, AI. Because in the last 25 years, so much of innovation has been done. But in the next 5 years, it's going to be 100 times more than what has happened in the last 25 years. So I was, in fact, just 2 weeks back, I visited Stanford University for a course in AI. And how do you use AI for strategy, for business, for education? As of now, there is no right answer on what's going to be the use of AI as we go ahead. But we have to keep adapting. We have to keep learning. We keep providing training to our teachers on technology. Students are always one step ahead when it comes to technology. So we have to also keep a check, on what the students are doing with technology. So AI is going to change not only education, but the entire world and every sector with it. So we shall see how it comes. But I think people and human interference is going to play a huge role in education, and it should never be replaced fully with AI.
It can't be replaced.
I find it wonderful how much importance you place on learning yourself and then adapting overall. And so, speaking of change, I personally remember presenting student initiatives to the both of you in a really elaborate presentation last year during a board meeting, actually. And I know that, ma'am, you are extremely involved in the kind of student initiatives that we have here, and you are a big part of how they grow and evolve as well. So, which idea or perhaps project that has been brought up to the both of you in the past few years has been the most inspiring to you, and why?
So one thing that comes up is the students planned the butterfly garden in the school. It was a great initiative. So we are very happy when such initiatives and such ideas come out of. When you guys bring it to us, and we are very happy to give a thumbs up and say let's get it done. So that's something comes up. Anything to you?
I think every small idea can make such a huge difference, right? So I think one of the ideas the student had got to us was about how do we reduce wastage of water. So the taps in the school and the force of the water is what was the study about. And the student came up with a device on we can reduce the force of water, and by that we can save huge amounts of water and contribute to the environment. And we had implemented that idea within weeks as soon as it was brought to us. So I think all these kind of initiatives by the students really helps us.
Yes.
And
I think it's like the innovation, right? So we should kind of have like an innovation cell, which has student, management, teachers, parents, and I'm sure we can always come up with multiple innovations.
Yeah. I think design thinking is also the way ahead. Design thinking with a team, with a group where we as management, the full team of teachers led by the principal, the stakeholders, parents, the students, where we can form a kind of a team and come up with ideas on what we can do in the future. So I think, because the idea is to keep evolving, keep growing, and provide the best we can.
A question for ma'am. You being from a hospitality background, perhaps a hotelier or those sorts of things, why education, if I may ask? Like you being involved in a lot of student initiatives in the school.
Right.
Are these things which were what you considered back then very important?
So, hospitality was completely service industry. So I studied in Switzerland. I did my hotel management at École de Roche, Institute of Hotel Management. And, just being there taught me a lot in terms of how, and at that same time I met Sujay. So, he's running an institution back in Mumbai. I was noticing more of the institution where I was. And there was so much to learn of, how, of course, the culture of Switzerland was like everybody's on time. There's a clock everywhere. You have to be 5 minutes before time. So you learn certain things from culture, and what each institution has its own culture. And then the other thing, so I just started noticing more of how the institution works, and listening to all the work that he was doing back home. So many events happen in his school. So all of that attracted me and just got more passionate about being in this industry. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And your answer to my previous question as well, both of you spoke about something which is related to climate conscience. And I think that's so important today, giving back to what facilitates our growth. So that's incredible to hear. My final question, we here at CNS are a culmination. We're like a big group of people from all walks of life. And all of these people contribute very much to the upkeep of our school. And I'm sure that being founders as well, you both have a very stressful job at your hands. So if perhaps you had to trade jobs for a day or play another role around here, which one would that be and why?
Within the school?
Yes.
So take up another job within the school?
Yes.
I would surely be the physical education teacher.
I think I knew this one.
Yeah.
I would say this.
I love sports. I try to spend maximum time with my kids when now they are pursuing their sports. So I would for sure look at a PE teacher role, because that's something that excites me. And I would love to spend time with young students, training them, and playing with them on the field. Yeah.
For me, it would be a early years teacher because I like the babies, the kids, and I would want to do a lot of read alouds, like read storybooks. I spend good time reading to my kids, and it is very satisfying. So I think I would enjoy that the most. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very fun. Actually, I'm sure that as founder, you don't have just one job and you're already playing these roles in some capacity anyway. So that's great to hear. Thank you very much, the both of you, for being in conversation with us today. Hearing about how CNS continues to grow with purpose has been a very heartening experience, especially sitting in this podcast room, which is an example of your belief in the opportunities that we deserve. Thank you very, very much.
This foundation here reminds us of what we are here today is because of the years of dedication that have been put through. And it's all the dedication, inspiration, community. You two have given us valuable insight, and we both are extremely grateful to have been in conversation with you today.
To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us in celebrating 10 years of Chatrabhuj Narsee School. And here's to continuing this amazing legacy.
Thank you so much, Yuvan. Thank you so much, Anya. You all make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.